and post it to my page?
You will be able to do just that. Good evening. I am Coach Annette. I am your host here tonight at Coaching U4U. And tonight we're going to be talking about elevation, U4U, and how that works with an author who is famous in my book and has been on before with this book, Different, Just Like You. Good evening, Tesca Frisbee.
Good evening, Miss Annette Lartigue.
How are you?
I'm so blessed, healthy, and excited, refusing to complain. How are you?
I am well. I have absolutely no complaints. You know, I am blessed. I am living in his word and in his on his promise. And I know everything's gonna be all right. Just for today, all day, I'm good. So let's make sure we hydrate. You know, that's important. And let's just dive right in here. We want to talk about elevation tonight, Tesca. And so, in that elevation, one of the things we want to talk about is what that means to you, what that meant to your son, and what that means from this perspective. So, work with us here a little bit and talk to us a little bit about what elevation, just overall, means to you, and what message of elevation would you give our guests this evening?
So, for me this evening, I think I would want to pass on, well, beginning with my son. In elevating him, it is making sure that he knows that he is priority. He is to be lifted up. He is to be celebrated. Just like anyone else here in this lifetime, there's nothing less about him, that he is more than enough, and that his gifts that God has given him, that they
Mhm.
are to be celebrated. And so that's what it is for me, is to just let him know that he is, first of all, he's a treasure. He's a gift to his father and I, to our family. And we love him just the way he is, just perfectly different as he is. That's exactly how we love him, and we would have him no other way.
He's been a blessing for you. So let's talk about the elevation of Tesca in supporting your gift. Who is your son?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your elevation a little bit and the message you would send to our guests this evening about elevation, because we can talk about it and we're certainly going to reference this book because I'm so excited about this book that, you know, I've had Tesca on before, but she was so nice I had to do it twice. This book says a lot. And it doesn't just say a lot about elevation, it says a lot about who Tesca is and what elevation it took for her to get where she is and was in writing this book and in living and loving the gift God gave her.
So from there, that perspective, in writing this book, it was written because of, I believed others saw my son as less than. And at no point in his life do I ever want him to think of himself as less than. Just as I would, no other parent would want their child to be thought of as less than. My husband and I don't want our child to be thought of as less than. And
Right.
he takes away our excuses. There are a lot of things that go on in this world. There are a lot of griefs that we each bear. There are a lot of pains that we go through, be it physically and or emotionally. And people don't realize that he goes through those same things to a great degree, but he doesn't complain. And so I tell folks a lot of times, he takes
Okay.
away the word can't from me. He takes away complaining from me. He doesn't allow us, because I know the gentleness of his spirit, the gentleness of his heart. My husband and I don't do the arguing. And I know a lot of students can say, my mom and dad, they argue, they fuss fight. My son is 19 years of age, and he has never heard us have an argument. Never. And even if I wanted to, I would not argue with my husband, especially in front of my son, because I know it unnerves him. So it makes me control myself. It makes my husband control himself. And it makes us to be better people because of it, because it shows us that there's a different way and there's a better way to handle situations. And even when if you're not on the same page, that doesn't mean you have to get ugly with one another. That you can agree to disagree, and you could be your best self when you're doing that. And because you at all times, even if they don't see you, somebody hears you, or you're going to carry what you have said or you've done into their space once you get into their space. And I never want to bring negative energy into his space because he's so innocent and because he's so loving, because he has this gentleness about him. I believe that he doesn't deserve negative energy. He doesn't deserve to get all this ugliness that the world has to offer. So if I'm not giving it to him, it is not the giving it to him, and my husband's not giving it to him, it is not the expectation. So he grows me, and I like to use the rubber band effect. He stretches me to be the best me that I can possibly be. So I like that. It makes me say, I could say that, but my son is watching, my children are watching, because both my boys, I know I have their ears, and I know I have their attention. Even when they're not paying attention, I know I have their
Yeah.
attention. So I have to be the best form of me, and I want them to get that person that's going to be in their life, that's going to emulate what the respect values that I give and display to their father. So it grows me, it stretches me, and it helps me to be a more godly and centered woman.
You said a lot here. And so I want the audience to know that I wanted you back because, and I'm going to keep bringing you back, Tesca, if you will allow it, because I want people to hear about the stretch. I want them to hear about elevating, and I want them to hear about what it takes. In elevation, sometimes it requires separation from people, places, and things who are not attempting to do the things that you are attempting to do. And in writing this book, one of the things that I want to draw your attention to is when you talked about you normalized your baby. And I believe it's page 13. And you talked about, if he gets sick and he gets a cold and he's off to the doctor's office, that you go and that he has to take medication to get better, just like you do. Just like you do. And so, in elevating and in talking about the elevation, in talking about this book, in talking about, things that happen at home and things that you have to do, you said something that's key. Number one, it's the company you keep. Because as we deal with any challenge in loving, caring, and kindness, we have to be mindful of that which is surrounding us
At all
because
times.
it makes an impact. And you have a phenomenal support system in your hubs. Uh, you are the wife for life.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. You have a wonderful support system in your mother in love, Janine LaRue. And you have friends who adore you, Tesca. I'm one of them.
Thank
I
you.
admire and respect your tenacity, not just as a mother with a special needs young adult now, but a mother who is also in the public eye. And in that respect and elevating, am I echoing?
No.
Okay,
Well, there is a slight feedback, but it's not an echo. It's a little feedback we're getting.
it's a little feedback. Okay, I'm gonna have to work on that because those are things. I just spent $2,000 on a Microsoft laptop 4 so that I could get this podcast right. That's how important it is to me. And
Now
so
it's
I want to be
perfect.
sure that the sound is perfect, that the picture is perfect, and that we are coming across. But I want to talk about your elevation in those areas and how you juggle the schedule and how you juggle the look. You are always presenting in a spirit of opportunity and hope. I'm going to try, even as we're talking, to deal with some of that feedback.
Okay.
So keep going. Go ahead.
So with being in the spotlight, my husband being a elected official, a commissioner here in Mercer County, it is always, like you said, I'm in the spotlight when I want to be, and most of the time because I don't want to be, I'm in the
Right.
spotlight, and so is my our children when we wherever we are. So I'm very mindful at all times of who I am, how I'm conducting myself, especially with people who I don't know, because I never know who might not have a good agenda for
That-
me and my family. So at all times I have to be what we call to be on, and I need to be aware, self-aware. And we teach that to our children as well. So in learning to juggle his life, my son's life, it's challenging. I'll have to say that because no one expects to have a child with special needs, and when you get it, there are a lot of relationships that have dissolved because they have not learned or didn't try, I should say, because a lot of them, when they realize that they have a child that's going to come in that's differently able than what they expected, it messes with what their expectations were and what their dreams may have been for their child or for their family, and it causes a lot of chaos and havoc, and it rips the fabric of the family apart. My husband and I made this agreement when we were just newly married, and that's now 23 years,
Mm,
that the only people that could mess up this, there's not some woman that I can point my finger at and say, oh, she did this, or some man that he can point his finger that said, oh, he did that. No, there are only two people who can break up our marriage, and that's him and that's me, because one of us has to open up a door to let somebody else into the marriage. If we don't let that other person into the marriage, then they can't come in. They can't do and wreak the havoc that others have happened to their marriage. So with that, we have this mutual respect for one another, especially when we're in the public eye, to not do anything to dishonor each other. And that is a reflection of our family dynamic. So our children, they get to see that mom respects dad. I tell folks I'll go to battle with that man back to back at any time, because I know he has my back. I know he won't let me fall. If I
yeah,
stumble, I know he's going to be there. I know I'm not going all the way down. I might touch, the ground a little bit, but he's going to get me right back up. And I feel that he
yeah.
believes the same thing with me. But our children, it is important for me that they understand that we start with our head, and that is God. We have godly principles, and that if we honor God and we teach that we honor our parents and we honor our
Mhm.
children and we honor the extension of the branches that are within our family, then we'll get it. We're not going to get it perfect, but each day we strive to be a little closer to being perfect than we were the day before. That's always my goal. My prayer is always each day, God, help me to be a better me today than I was on yesterday. So I'm
Amen.
going to stumble. I'm going to fall, but hopefully
Yeah,
I'm doing a little bit more than I did yesterday. If I take a step back, it's not going to cause me to fall either. And that's what the principles we're teaching our children. In the public eye, you're going to stumble. You're not going to get it right. You're not going to be perfect all the time, but dust yourself off. Don't beat yourself down, and just be the best you that you can possibly be. Today, you might not get it all right, but tomorrow is a new day. We can dust it off, and it's nothing so tragic that we can't recuperate from it. And so we learn each other. We know that at the end of the day, we love each other, that
yeah.
no one's going to have our backs more than the ones that live in this household. And no one wants more for them than we want for each other. So as we stumble and we're going through this, and I'm still learning this politician's wife seat that I'm in. Um, it's not the easiest seat always to be in, because a
Yeah.
lot of times you gotta, you know, move back, and he's out there and other folks want his attention. I'm like, wait, I'm over here. But it is still, but I know at the end of the day and the close of the day, I know where he's coming. And I know that our family, I know that we're important to him. So
Right.
I tell folks there are times we're in this house together. I mean, even with quarantine, and I might see my husband maybe 2 hours out of the entire 24 hours of that day because his life is just that crazy. It is that busy. So if I might have the children all day and he might get them up in the morning, get ready for school, and boom, he's done. And we might not see him until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night or till the next morning, depending on when he gets in and when I go to bed. But it is understanding that whatever he's out there doing, I know and our family knows that he's doing it for the better of our good. So dad is out there and he's doing this so that we can have more and we can be more. And he's doing this for the community so the community can have more and the community can be more. And so it's never, oh God, he's out there again. I'm left at home like that. I believe it's all a frame of mind. What you think is going to be who you are. So if I give myself
Absolutely.
negative thoughts, I'm gonna not only am I going to be negative, it's going to set the temperature for my entire household. So my
Absolutely.
children are going to be negative, and when he comes in, he's going to get hell to pay because he's going to get
Absolutely.
all that negative energy. And I
Absolutely.
choose that. I choose not to do that. So it is a conscious choice of who I am or who I choose for my household to be. So I'm intentional with that.
I like that. I like the intentional part. Hey, Carla Boyd, thanks for joining us this evening. And to the Facebook user who is asking about another topic, I would refer you to Facebook to research that. We are here today at Coaching U4U to speak to a great author who is speaking, Teska Frisbee, about elevation in her life, in her marriage, and in her parenting role. And so most people think elevation is all about uh, everything else. It first begins in the home, it begins at home. And being in a position and the public eye is difficult. And Teska's telling you what it takes to do that. So some of you want to be in office and you have no idea how intrusive that is. You have no idea what it takes to rise and grind every single day. You have no idea what it takes to write a book like this and talk about what's going on. You have no idea about different just like you. So, Teska, let's take these last few minutes to talk about this book again. Thank you for sharing about Commissioner Frisbee and the wife for life role. Thank you for sharing about what it takes to get up and get moving. And thanks for being honest about not having a perfect family, but an amazing family. Thank you for sharing that. All of that matters. All of that is about elevation. Elevation is you for you. Until you breathe and put your oxygen mask on, there's not much you're going to be able to do for anybody else.
So true.
And so Teska is going to be a mainstay here because she's going to be sharing about some of those trials and triumphs and opportunity and hope. But more than that, she's going to be telling you about elevation in and above what most of us deal with on a regular basis. And that's her baby Sam. So come on, sis, bring it.
So I just want to let folks know it's not always an easy seat being in this seat with living with the having a husband that is in the public eye, but it can be a rewarding seat if you have the right attitude. I believe everything in life is exactly what you make it to be. So it can be negative if you make it negative. It can be positive if you make it positive. It can be wonderful if you make it wonderful. I
Yeah.
believe that our words are our power, and I choose to use mine. And again, I will keep saying that it is a very conscious decision for me of how my household is going to be. I tell folks, my husband and I, we laugh. We say that I may be the head. Well, my husband's the head, but I'm the neck that turns that head. So I make sure that we're going in the right direction and that the atmosphere is like putting on music. It's either when he comes home, he's gonna get rock music and it's banging, or he's going to get that jazz. It's like, hey, babe, how you doing? This is what we got, a nice, easy
Yeah.
flow going in the house. But I get to set the temperature. When he comes home, I get to set that temperature of how we're going to be flowing in this household. So I choose to just, okay, this is how we're going to groove. And I can be doing rock hard, or I can be like, "Argh!" Or I can be like, hey, how you doing? Or, let's go old school with this now. So let's do that. But it's all a conscious decision. So I realize that he has a lot that he has to fight against out in the public. When he
That's right.
comes home, this is going to be his sanctuary. This is going to be his peaceful
Be him.
place. And
Yes.
I don't want him to have to say, I don't want to go home. He's going to want to come here, because that's the goal. I don't want anybody to be able to say that they can give to him what I can't give to him, what he can't get in this home. So this is sanctuary. This is peace. This is love that sits right in here. And that's what we emulate and push out to everyone else.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Tesca, it is amazing. And this is what I want our audience to know, that elevation is about you for you first. Your oxygen mask first. Your elevation in everything you do. With Tesca, it is being a professional, being in the public eye, being the mother of a very, very, very competent and gifted young man. It is being the wife of a husband who is in the public eye. And so I want you to understand Tesca's tagline. She says, wife for life. She says, my son is different, just like you. He eats, he breathes, he puts on his pants the same way. His feelings are there. His human part is there. His reach for God is there. And I will tell you this, believing in a power greater than yourself is important. For me, the power greater than me, I choose God. And just for the day, all day, I want to leave you with some things when it comes to elevating. And Tesca and I will delve into this a little bit more. I'm interested in Tesca because she is an author. I'm interested in her being here at Coaching U4U because she has a story to tell. I'm interested because Tesca can tell us about tribulation and how to get to the other side. And Coaching U4U is about inspiration. It's about you for you. Tesca, we don't have to be perfect to be amazing. You are simply amazing. And tonight, we talked about the company you keep. We talked a little bit about not complaining, taking action, being fearless, being grateful. What doesn't apply, let it fly. What doesn't apply, let it fly. Tesca is about her family. Tesca is about elevating. Tesca is about being a great mother to a great kid. She even wrote a book about it. Please see this book on Amazon and purchase it and learn something from it. Here at Coaching U4U, we want to inspire you to be the best person you can be. Tesca talked about no excuses. Remember that. And schedule everything you're going to do around your goals. Tesca's goals are her family and her son, who is different, just like you. Pick this book up on Amazon. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to keep showing you pictures of it. We're going to keep sharing it because it matters. Tesca, thank you for being here with us this evening. Thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope about elevation. And I want the audience to know that elevation starts everywhere, but it first begins with you. And with Tesca, she has made the leap and she has some experience, strength, and hope to tell you about how you get through some of these things. Tesca, give them your landing statement tonight. Leave them with a thought that applies to elevation and how you made it over to write this book and to be the best person you can be. And listen, wife for life, I love you. Give it to him.
Well, it's like I tell my son Theodore all the time, and that's my baby boy, that this life is not about us. And once we get that, and we try to stop putting the spotlight on ourselves all the time and realize that, just like you said, if we are responsible to our higher power, you're going to be better. So stop trying to put all the shine on you and realize when you put God first, or that is our higher power, then everything else flows. Don't do it with this selfish intent of saying it's all about me, see me, shine on me. Let it be about somebody else. When you bless somebody else, your blessings are going to start to overflow. And
Yeah.
that's what we like to teach our children. Bless somebody else and don't worry about all the rest of it. Your blessings are on the way. God has got your back. And your blessings, they will overflow. The windows will open up and you'll see a mountain full of blessings coming right through.
Tesca, I love you, girl. I
I
need you
love
to
you back,
survive.
Annette.
I need you to survive. I
I need you
love
to survive.
you. I need you. We're all a part of God's family. Hey, Coaching U4U audience, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to Tesca. She's going to be back again. Carla Boyd, thank you. Thank you for the positive inspirations that you post. Keep posting them, sis. We need you. To our audience, please remember, hydrate, eat fruit, drink water, and mind your business and elevate. It's the company you keep that matters. I'm keeping the company of Tesca Frisbee, an amazing woman. Thank you for joining us here tonight at Coaching U4U. You can see us on Facebook Live. You can see us on YouTube, and you can now see us on iTunes. We are pulling in over 6,000 viewers. I want to thank New Pod City. I want to thank Frank Sasso for believing in me. And I want to thank him for the opportunity. And tonight, I want to leave you with this. It's the company you keep. Be mindful of your company. Thank you, Tesca. I'll
Thank
see
you,
you
Annette.
again real soon. We're here every Wednesday at 8:05 p.m. We are live on networks across the country at Coaching U4U. Inhale the inspiration. We are live on Thursdays. Type us in, inhale the inspiration, and you'll find Coaching U4U. Have a good evening, and thank you very much. Tesca and I will chat with you soon. Remember this book, Different, Just Like You. The elevation, the reality of what it takes to be a parent, making a difference when our children are rising. Thank you, Tesca.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Annette.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here again soon.
Thank you.